What is up, everybody? Hello. Good to see you all again. If anybody's out there already, don't know, as I slowly turn down Street Fighter EX Plus A, which is Alpha. If you've not played that game, I'll probably be playing it tomorrow, actually. I think I'll do a stream on that with playing Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha and maybe Street Fighter EX 2. I have not played that game in a long time. Maybe 3. Maybe I'll just make a whole day of it there, a whole stream. I'll play Street Fighter EX 1, 2, and 3. They're a lot of fun. They're different from the normal Street Fighter games because they're made by Arika, but they're a ton of fun. I enjoy it, so I'll be streaming that tomorrow. I'll make that a promise. So I am back to streaming more Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, and the goal is to hopefully possibly beat this tonight. I don't think I might be able to do it. I might not be able to. We're going to see, but I'm going to try. There are some shortcuts to the PAL key part where you have to freeze the key and then heat it up. There are actually some pipes in the Metal Gear storage room that you can actually shoot with your gun and stand in it, and like you'll either get hot, steamed, or cold to basically speed up the process. So fingers crossed that that works. No guarantees, but I'm going to try my absolute darndest as always. So let's get right into it. And of course I'm going to need to unmute the game. Loudness! Very loud. Wow, that part gets really loud. Yep, so I am now on disc 2. That actually happened yesterday on stream. I'll turn down my headset volume a little bit more. Here we go. That should help. So where did I leave off? Oh yes, I just killed Vulcan Raven. I managed to get through that fight, which was interesting because I managed to kill him with a grenade because I didn't have anywhere near the amount of Claymore mines that I normally have. And I kind of discovered that the Twin Snakes version of the Vulcan Raven fight is actually harder. Most of the game, as a general, is easier, but that fight actually was made a little bit harder. He does have more erratic patterns to his movement, whereas the PlayStation version, he has pretty much a set pattern that you can pick up on pretty quickly. And Claymores and damage in general does a lot less, because if you were to play the PlayStation version, about 5 Claymore mines would kill him. Basically, you can put him in the path of where he runs, you'd walk right into him. You'd have to use also your Stinger missiles and shoot him in the PlayStation version, but in the Twin Snakes on the GameCube that I found out is that the Stinger missiles go flying around him like it did for, gosh, what was her name? Silence? No, that can't be right here. I'm trying to think of the girl's name in Metal Gear Solid 2, who basically, Fortune, that's right, she couldn't get hit with bullets. It acts kind of like that, where the bullets just go flying, or the missiles go flying right around Vulcan Raven. You can't hit him with Stinger missiles. So you have to employ a completely different strategy in order to beat him. Alright, to stop the launch of the new type of nuclear warhead, Snake rushes to the underground maintenance base. However, Vulcan Raven is waiting for him. Snake defeats Raven. While he is dying, he tells Snake that the DARPA chief who died in front of Snake was actually Foxhound member Decoy Octopus in disguise. Snake, who has been told by Master that Naomi is lying about her identity, is confused and filled with doubt and questions about his own identity. I decided that for fun. But all he can do now is try to stop the launch, which was his original mission to begin with. So he's just gonna keep doing that. Okay, got it. Understood. Okay, so I just heard an item drop. I don't know where or what it is, so let me go and try to see if I can find it. Oh. Okay, neat. I got a dog tag. That's another thing that they copied from this game for Metal Gear Solid 2. along with almost all the mechanics, is the ability to hold up people and also get their dog tags, which is, as far as I'm aware, useless in this game. Metal Gear Solid 2, I think it unlocked a new rating or ranking and maybe some extra stuff, but in this game it's pretty much useless as far as I'm aware of. Per me. So in the PlayStation version of the game, I know I keep comparing it against the 2 here, but it's kind of interesting to do it. You'd have to burn a lot of your chaff grenades that you'd hopefully saved up at that point of the game. But of course you can now aim and shoot in 3D, so it's kind of a moot point. Really? I was not aware that there was somebody behind there. Okay, so that's a new addition too. Maybe I shouldn't use my tranquilizer gun. That might speed up the process. Comes around the corner, I'm gonna give him a lead salad. It's one of my favorite lines from the Fight Club movie. See if I can draw him over. Yep. Nikita? No, Singers. So they anticipated you wasting Stinger bullets on the fight with Vulcan Raven, basically. So I mean, there's no reason to give them here anyway. So I mean, good lord, the volume for this game is just going all over the place. Turn up more on my headset or headphones. Metal Gear. So this is the first time we get to see the Metal Gear in full glory. Interesting, the radar now shows people up on the upper catwalks. Before, it would not do that. They're way up top, like 3 levels up, so they should not, in theory, be able to see me. And the water is also, I think, very cold, so it does damage you. Okay, night vision doesn't do it. I missed the thermal goggles somewhere. Okay, so someone did hear me. Interesting. So the guards have been hyper-tuned for sensing people. This is an interesting development.
Snake, it's me.
What's wrong? Did you find a good place to hide?
Yeah, thanks to the stealth gear. It looks like they've finished getting Metal Gear ready.
How do you know that?
I overheard them talking. Where are you now?
Right in front of Metal Gear. But it's strange.
Metal
What is?
Gear.
There's nobody here. No guards.
What are you
no
talking about?
mechanics. It's too quiet.
I just
Maybe
murdered
because
a
they're
guard.
all ready. They said they even input the PAL codes.
What should I do?
All we can do is use the override system that President Baker told you about.
But I've only got one of the 3 keys. And besides that, like Ocelot said, there's some trick to using the keys.
Leave it to me.
You got some kind of plan?
Well, I'm in the computer room right now. I'm trying to access Baker's private files.
Baker's files? Don't you need a password?
Of course. But there are ways.
The password is password.
Are you a hacker?
Yep.
A hacker otaku
describes me
who's
pretty
into,
well.
into
Does it look
Japanese
like you can get
animes.
in?
I don't know yet. I'll give it a try.
I'm counting on you.
He's saying I'm trying to do the password. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
What was that sound?
Come check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, so this is a very interesting development. They said normally there's no guards here, which is why the cutscene said, hey, there's nobody here. Because there's not supposed to be anybody here. Now there is a guy walking up around here right next to the railgun, so...
Snake, it's me again.
How's it going?
Not bad. I just got past his 3rd security level. He was a pretty careful guy.
Do you think you'll break in soon?
I've never met a system I couldn't bust into.
Okay. Keep trying.
And, just, like, don't call me anymore until you actually, like, get into it. Because, I mean, you're kind of stopping my forward progress. I'm trying to save the world. Kind of important. So where is that other guy? Okay, I guess it's just picking up Ocelot and Liquid in the room. So there should be one more guard across the way. Pardon me.
Snake, I did it.
You got past security?
Bingo.
Great. So what do you got?
I accessed the
A
confidential
lot of
Metal
porn.
Gear
Wow,
file.
this guy was
So
in some
what about
weird
the PAL
stuff.
override system that Baker talked about?
Haven't found it yet.
That's what I need to know.
But Snake, I found something else.
What?
The secret behind the new nuclear weapon. Just as I thought, the nuclear warhead is designed to be fired from the railgun like a projectile. It doesn't use fuel, so it isn't considered a missile. That way it can get around all sorts of international treaties.
Pretty sneaky.
Yes, but effective. And that's not even the scariest thing about this weapon.
I can't wait to hear this.
It's a stealth weapon.
You mean it won't show up on radar?
Yeah. The truth is, they've been working on a stealth missile since the late 70s.
Why weren't they able to develop one up until now?
Because of the missile's rocket propulsion system. It would be picked up by enemy satellites.
Because of that?
But unlike a missile, the railgun doesn't burn any propellant.
Nope,
so it
you just
can't be
launch a
detected
projectile
by
going
any current
7
ballistic
Mach
missile
7.
detection systems.
An invisible nuclear warhead.
Totally impossible to intercept. And on top of that, it's got a surface-piercing warhead designed to penetrate hardened underground bases.
We learned that lesson in the Gulf War.
This thing could mean the end of the world.
It's the ultimate weapon. And from a political point of view, it avoids the problem of nuclear reduction and nuclear inspections. Colonel, is this true? Are you listening?
Sorry, I was grabbing a donut. I didn't hear anything you said.
Signing of the START III treaty. If word gets out about this weapon, it'd cause a whole world of trouble.
Yeah, it would be nasty. The United States would be denounced by the UN. It could even bring
We're
the
denounced by the
president
UN
down.
all the time anyway.
Did you know
what
this,
would be
Colonel?
any different? The UN has
I'm
no
sorry.
teeth.
You've changed, Colonel.
I won't make any excuses.
Snake, listen to me. This new nuclear weapon, it's never actually been tested. Only simulated.
You mean with VR experiments?
Yeah, that's why they were conducting this exercise. They needed to get actual experimental data to back up the simulation.
What were the results of the exercise?
It looks like it went better than they hoped for, but I can't find the data anywhere on this network. You'd think the data as important as that would be carefully recorded.
It was. President Baker gave me an optical disc with all of the test data.
What? Do you still have it?
No. Ocelot took it from me.
Damn.
The terrorists have replaced the dummy warhead with a real warhead. Once they input the detonation codes, they should be ready to launch.
So, you think they can do it?
Well, the dummy warhead was designed to be identical to the real thing, so I think so.
Did you find out how to override it yet?
Not yet. It must be in a separate file. Right now I'm looking through all of Baker's personal files.
We're counting on you.
Now, for those of you who may not know, railguns do actually exist. United States actually has one on a destroyer. I forget how long it is. The entire gun's about 30 feet or so long, and it launches a projectile at Mach 7. It's getting pretty close to setting the atmosphere on fire, like basically just because of the friction from the air hitting the projectile. The biggest thing about this game would be launching a nuclear missile, because they have a lot of heft and weight to them. You'd have to be able to survive the sudden acceleration, because it goes from 0 to Mach 7 in like a split second. Currently, the United States, the railgun that they've actually shown footage of, it's just launching like a foot-long steel rod, like a projectile there. It's been like honed into like a bullet shape, and it just goes through everything. There was actually a DARPA test they showed, and it was going through about 3-inch thick steel plates. It went through at least 10 of them before hitting the backstop for where they're trying to stop it. So if you could figure out how to launch a nuclear missile to make it survive all that and make a railgun that would be able to shoot something like that, that would be a huge game changer. So that would be kind of interesting thing to see about in the future, but right now it's still unfeasible because the missile would just break up. Oh yes, we're coming up to an awesome cutscene. Going to need my FAMAS.
Snake.
Did you find it?
No, I haven't found out about the override system yet, but I found Baker's ulterior motive.
He's just looking to get rich, isn't he?
That's part of it. Armstech is in much worse financial trouble than I thought.
I know they lost their bid to make the next generation fighter jet. That, plus the reduction in SDI spending.
It looks like there was even some talk of a hostile takeover.
Everything was riding on this project, I guess.
And it looks like they were paying a lot of bribe money to the DARPA chief.
Bribe money, huh?
Yeah, and Baker was a big proponent of the nuclear deterrent theory.
I see. So anyway, what about the override?
Just give me a little bit longer.
Thank you for that pointless conversation that basically stressed that they were really desperate for money. So that's interesting too, because in the original PlayStation version, you had to actually climb on top of the Metal Gear itself. Oh, this is amazing. Check this out. Don't ask how he did that.
I've entered the PAL codes and disengaged the safety device. We can launch anytime.
There's still no response from Washington. It looks like we'll have to show them that we mean business.
Should I set it for Cherniton, Russia?
No. There's been a change. The new target is Lot-Nor China.
Why, boss?
Because I feel like it. Because I'm evil Nick Evilton.
Liquid.
I'm sure neither you nor Mr. Golukovich would really like to see a nuclear bomb dropped on your motherland, right?
But why? There's nothing there.
Wrong. It's a nuclear test site.
A nuclear test site.
If we nuke a major population center, the game's over. But a nuclear explosion at a test site can still be concealed from the public. Meanwhile, Washington will be worried about the retaliatory strike from China.
That'll probably mean top-secret talks between both countries' leaders.
Of course. And in the process, the President will be forced to divulge the existence of a new and highly destabilizing nuclear weapon to the Chinese. What do you think that will do to the US's reputation? Or the President's?
And with the CTBT, that means that China and India... I see.
Yes. When the other countries hear about the new weapon, they'll all want to contact us. Washington won't be very happy when we start selling their own system to the highest bidders. Yes, the President will break. He will give in to our demands.
Big Boss's DNA and $1 billion.
$1 billion. All for money.
That money will be used to cure our genome soldiers
Hopefully they
as
can't
well.
see me just sitting around the corner
I'm
there.
also including the Fox-Die vaccine in our demands.
Fox-Die. It killed Octopus and the Armstech president. So it's true that it affects older people first. Mantis might not have been affected because he wore a mask.
Wolf wasn't infected either. Perhaps due to those tranquilizers she always took.
Something to do with amphetamine and adrenaline levels in the blood. They deployed a product still in development into live combat. No surprise it was unreliable. They must have been desperate.
In any case, have you heard from your friend Colonel Sergei Golukovich at Spetsnaz yet?
That's a new line.
He still has doubts about the ability of Metal
Golukovich
Gear.
was in Metal Gear
He
Solid
said
2.
we can talk after Metal Gear's test launch is successful.
So they added it for this version that ties
He's
into
a
the next
very
game.
prudent man.
There's nothing to worry about. The Colonel wants Metal Gear and a new nuclear weapon so bad he can taste it. If Russia wants to regain its position as a military superpower, they need to reinforce their nuclear arsenal. They need a nuclear weapon that can't be intercepted. Metal Gear will allow them to gain first strike capability over the rest of the world.
Their regular army is in shambles, and they think they can restore their country's military power with nuclear weapons? That Golukovich, he's no warrior. He's a politician.
Maybe so, but he's the one who gave us the Hind and most of our other heavy firepower.
He's got over 1,000 soldiers under his command. If we joined forces, we could put up quite a resistance here. Since Mantis died, the Genome Soldiers' brainwashing has started to wear off. I'm worried about the men's morale. An alliance with the Russians would boost that as well.
What are you saying?
We're not going anywhere. We're going to dig in here. It's going to be a long war.
We could still escape.
We have the new nuclear power, and we're going to ally with Golukovich's forces.
Are you going to fight the whole world?
And what's wrong with that? Fighting the whole world? From here, we can launch a nuclear warhead at any target on this planet. A nuclear warhead invisible to radar and totally immune to interception. And on top of that, this base is full of spare nuclear warheads. once we get the DNA and the money,
You know, the problem is with the railgun is you don't have infinite range. You're still limited by a lot of factors,
What
including the
about your
curvature of the
promise
Earth.
to Colonel Gulukovich?
I have no interest in the revival of Mother Russia.
You're not thinking of reviving Big Boss's dream.
From today, you can call this place Outer Heaven.
Big Boss's dream.
Yeah, like railguns only have a range of 200 miles.
Boss,
It's
you're
the
not
farthest you
worried
can
about
launch
the
a
PAL
projectile.
being overridden? If the code is entered again, it'll be deactivated.
No need to worry. The DARPA chief and the Armstech president are both dead.
Does Snake know how the override system works?
You interrogated him, don't you know?
He didn't have any keys on him.
Good. Then no one can stop Metal Gear now.
By the way, what should we do with that woman? Want me to kill her?
Let her live. She's Campbell's niece, and Snake cares for her. We'll keep her as our ace in the hole.
Meryl, she's alive.
Snake, I found Baker's top-secret files.
Great job.
How's it going there?
They've finished inputting the PAL codes. So, how do we deactivate them?
Okay, you see, the override system that the President was talking about, it can also be used to input the detonation codes. You see, if you insert the keys when the warhead is active, you deactivate it. And if you insert them when it's inactive, it becomes activated. And you can only use the keys once.
Only once, huh?
You need the keys for input. 3 of them.
But I only have the one. Where are the others?
Hold on a minute. You see, that's the trick. You already have all 3 keys.
What are you talking about?
The card key is made of a shape memory alloy.
Shape memory alloy?
Yes, it's a material that
So basically,
changes...
speed passes part here. All you need to do is basically put in the key when it's neutral, like it is now. Put it in when it's cold and when it's hot, which leads to a lot of backtracking. But there's supposed to be some pipes around here that you can shoot, which actually speed up the process a little bit.
Can you see the input terminals in the center of the control room?
I see them.
Those 3 laptop terminals are for the emergency input. There should be a symbol on each screen. Each symbol corresponds to a different key. You input the keys in order from left to right. The left one's for the room temperature key. See the symbol? Next to that goes the low temperature key. The one on the right is the high temperature key.
Okay, I got it. First I change the shape of the card, and then I input them in order, right?
That's right. All you do is insert the card keys. After you insert the key into the module, a hard disk reads the information contained on it. Once you've finished with all 3 terminals, the code input process is complete. But here's the thing. You can only use the key 3 times. It's an emergency system, and it's only meant to be used once.
The world is riding on that key, Snake. Who's that?
The key fell in the drainage ditch.
Snake! This is bulletproof glass. There's no way in. I'll enjoy watching you die.
Snake, you've got to get that key.
And I think there's alert triggered right here too. No, interesting. Okay. The original pretty sure the original right here, that it would trigger an alarm, so you just start to get bum rushed. But they also changed the pattern here as well for the Metal Gear. Like, in order to get across it, basically you had to walk across the top of it, and it was like a slow ladder scene up and then down, and they just basically took it out and decided to basically make you just run across it instead. Let's see, it's not letting me jump over the railing to go faster. Okay, so I heard a mouse scurry, and I think in this version a mouse has it, and you have to shoot it or trap it. I think. There we go. Yep, there it is. So they changed it from the PlayStation version to that, which is pretty sneaky of them, I gotta admit. Let's save, since it's been a while since I've done that.
What can I do for you?
Do the same thing you always do for me. Save.
Snake.
thought that there was pipes over here that you can shoot. Or maybe it's another level up higher. I'll find it. Well, basically I need to put it in when it's neutral anyway, so still gives me plenty of time to go look around. Let's take a look here real fast, just so I don't have to. If there's a way to skip all the backtracking. Twin snakes. PAL. Yeah. Of course, the first video I pull up is from 2007, 11 years ago, and it's like 144p, probably recorded from a guy from VHS. Ah, so that's where it's at. Okay. Yeah, so there's a steam and there's a nitrogen pipe. I know where they are. It's gonna be a little tricky because you're gonna need to like hang over the edge. And like drop and then grab onto another platform underneath. So, okay, now I know where it's at. 'Cause I remember it being there. I found it like the first time I played this game, like, gosh, it's been almost 15 years ago almost. It's actually kind of hard to see here. There it is, that's the pipe. So I need to run around the top, so I go down the stairs, hang over the ledge, drop down, grab onto here, and jump up. So the left pipe is steam, which is going to heat up the card, and the blue, of course, is cold to heat it or cool it down. Yeah, cold to heat it up. I don't think that I can take out these cameras. Oh, I can. That's awesome. I figured they would have made these one armored, so that way you couldn't just short them out and have to worry about it. Let's see, PAL card. It's okay. Good girl. Lay down. Keiko's deciding to keep me company. She likes to hang out in the room when I do streaming. Usually she's sleeping on my bed. Yep, there she goes. Now she's going to lay down in the bed.
Awaiting PAL code number 2.
Okay, that takes care of PAL code
My
number
bed is
1.
like on a timeshare with my cat.
Now, PAL number 2. Freeze the key.
She won't sleep in the bed if I'm in the bed, but if I'm out of it, she will. So it's like she actually waits for me to get up in the morning, so then she can like lay down in the bed and take her nap. Which is kind of interesting. So what's going to happen here? Oh, that's right. There's always this weird little loading section here. I don't know what it is. Even on the PlayStation, I did the same thing. So what I need to do is hang over the edge, drop, and then quickly hit the button to climb back up. And that was not it. Okay. So what it is, I hit the action button to try to grab on it. Snake! I wonder if Dolphin has save states. That might be faster to do. Emulation. Oh, cool. It does have save states. Okay, excellent. I don't know if it's saved from when I put in the card or not. Yes, it did. Okay, sweet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a save state, so if I screw it up again, we don't have to keep running around. Save some time with just a little bit. I've actually never used save states with Dolphin before, so this is a first. So let's save state. Saving state. I'm going to move this over so I can quick load if I need to. What is the load state? Is there a button? Hotkey settings. No. Ooh, there's task tools in here too. That's awesome. Frame advance, decrease speed. That's neat. Okay. Okay, so you gotta hold forward and hit the button to bring yourself back up. Last time I just hit the button like normal and it did not do it. So now I just need to stand here and take some damage. And red! Huzzah! So now if I drop from here, it's not going to kill me. It's just going to hurt a little bit. I can live with the pain. So you do have a short amount of time to get the PAL key back. It's not too long. I mean, it's not like too short. But you don't want to really wait around and kind of screw around. You just want to hurry up and get to where you're going. Because in the original game, what we had to do was backtrack to the Vulcan Raven fight and stand around for until the screen, basically until the key guard got blue, got frozen. Run all the way back here, then run all the way back to the blast furnace where you start normally on disc 2 and start that up. So you had to run all the way back there. So it was like you're looking at this big, long, like backtracking section, which took like about 15-20 minutes to do sometimes. All the while you still had automated cards.
Was that the wrong one?
Huh, so I have to do these in order. Okay. Thank you, emulation save states. Alright, so I'm learning things today. Alright, so you have to go in order. You cannot go hot first. Yeah, so backtracking was a major problem. It seems like games now, a lot of times, will have backtracking in just to pad out their length, and this game is definitely guilty of that, which it didn't really need to be. I mean, the game was already, if you're going through playing and listening to all the codec calls in full, you're looking at like usually a 12 to 14 hour game. Pardon me.
PAL code number 2 confirmed.
I mean, speaking of backtracking, like, one of my favorite games is Metal Gear, not Metal
There
Gear,
goes PAL code
I don't know,
number
the
2.
brain. Ninja Gaiden
Next
Black.
comes PAL number 3.
So I love that game. I was at one point going to speedrun it, but it's just like I couldn't deal with the RNG. It was just getting to be too difficult for me to do. I wasn't really having fun. So I just played it casually. I have played it for a long time, and if you've never played it before, it is a very hard game, but it's a lot of fun. I do recommend it. The big problem with that game, though, is that it's really neat. It's that the entire game world, with the exception of like the first 2 levels of the game, like with the Ninja Village where you start off, and the airship, everything else in the game is all interconnected. And they will have you backtracking quite a bit in that game to constantly go back and go around to places you've already been, and it does eat up a lot of time. Alright, here we go. That was interesting.
Snake, it's about Naomi Hunter.
Then you should talk to the Colonel. He's looking into it.
Turn your monitor off.
Okay, it's off. No one else can hear us. Go ahead.
So,
Sorry,
what are you
I
doing?
didn't
What
want
are you
the Colonel to
thinking?
hear.
Okay, so what's up?
I've got a good friend in the Pentagon.
Yeah?
He's the one who told me about it. It looks like the DIA recently developed a new type of assassination weapon.
An assassination weapon?
Snake, have you ever heard of something called Fox Dye?
No.
What are you talking about? You just heard him
Fox
talk about
dye.
it.
Liquid and the others were
There you
talking
go.
about it.
Yeah. It's some kind of virus that targets specific people. I don't know all the details, but
What are you trying to say?
it's too similar.
What is?
The cause of death. Didn't the Arms Tech president and the DARPA chief, Decoy Octopus, die of something that looked like a heart attack?
Yeah?
Well, apparently Fox Dye kills its victims by simulating a heart attack.
No. You're telling me that Naomi was behind it?
Snake, try to remember. Did Naomi give you some kind of injection?
The nanomachines.
She was in the best position to have done it, but I don't know what her motive was.
Does the Colonel know?
I'm not sure, but he still hasn't questioned her.
Okay. I'll ask him myself. Colonel, what's new with the Naomi situation?
I just placed Naomi under arrest.
Arrest?
She was sending coded messages toward the Alaskan base. I didn't want to believe it, but she must be working with the terrorists.
Are you sure?
I'm afraid so. She's being interrogated now.
What kind of interrogation?
Well,
The type we
I'd
send you
like
to Gitmo
avoid the
for.
rough stuff, but we don't even have any sodium pentothal here.
So it's a
Call me
phone
if
book
you find
across the
out
face,
anything.
and we're getting some
So,
oranges in a
it's
sack.
true, isn't it?
Naomi. I can't believe it.
Hey, no
That
vultures.
means the Fox Dye vaccine must be
Yeah,
around
it's
somewhere.
the Metal Gear
Is that all you
games
think about?
are never
But
really known
Snake,
for
you might be
coherent,
infected too,
competent
you know.
plot lines,
All
but
I
they're
can
fun
do is leave it up
regardless.
to the Colonel.
Oh, hey, my grip level increased to level 2 for some reason. I thought this would have to be more like Metal Gear Solid 2, where you have to, do all the whole 100 pull-up thing. But I guess just repeatedly hanging off will do it. I've only hung over a ledge maybe 6 or 7 times total.
Snake, can you hear me? It's Naomi.
They're beating me with phone
Naomi.
books. What did you tell them?
What the hell?
Campbell and the others are busy right now. I'm on a different codec.
Naomi, is what the Colonel says true?
Yes, but not everything I said was a lie.
Just like
Who are you?
93%.
I don't know anything.
94.
My parents' face is my name. The name and ID I have now I just bought. But the reason why I study genetics, that was true.
Because you want to know yourself, right?
Okay, so you have a fake identity you just recently
wanna
bought, so
know
what's
where
your
I came
real
from.
name? And if
age,
you're a
my race,
doctor, a
anything.
legitimate doctor, you had to enroll in college somewhere, so
I was
what name
found
did you
in
use for
Rhodesia
that?
sometime in the 80s. A dirty little orphan.
Rhodesia, what's now known as Zimbabwe?
Yes. Rhodesia was owned by England
Yes.
until 1965.
If you want to have a lot of fun, look
and
up
there were
what's
lots of
happened to
Indian
Zimbabwe
laborers
and
around.
their dollar,
That's
their
probably where I
currency.
got my
It's
skin
just,
color
ooh.
from. But I'm not even sure about that.
Last I heard, you could buy a $1 billion bill on
worried
eBay
about
for
the
like
past.
$1, and that was
Isn't it
still
enough to
worth more than
understand
the
who
money
you are
costs.
now?
Understand who I
Oh,
am
speaking
now.
of eBay,
Why should I? No
I
one else
bought,
tries to understand me.
spent some money
was
today,
alone
of
for
course.
so
I
long.
was really hoping not
Until
to,
I met my big
but
brother.
I bought a wireless
And him.
receiver
Your big brother?
for wireless
Yes.
controllers for the 360 for the PC,
Frank
because I couldn't
Yeager.
find my old one.
What?
I don't know what happened to
He
it.
was a young
So I can
soldier
use the better
when he put
controller
me up
on
near
the
Zambezi
computer.
River.
Because, I mean, I'm using my wired
I was
one
half
that
dead
I've been
from
using for about
starvation,
4.5, 5
he shared
years, and
his
it's
rations with me.
pretty much dying.
Yes.
It's very worn
Frank
out.
Yeager.
Eventually, I'm going to have to switch
The man who
to
you destroyed
Xbox
was my
One,
brother
but
and my only family.
I'll also keep using the 360 controllers for now until I get some more money for that.
We survived that hell together, Frank and I.
Unless somebody wants to donate lots of money for me to improve my stream.
He's
Don't do that.
everything
Please
to
don't do
me.
that.
The only proof I have of my existence. Of my existence.
One
as
of the things
an
I
individual.
definitely won't do with my stream, I've been thinking about like what I want to do to
No.
improve things.
I was in
And
Mozambique.
so basically that made me also think of things like what I don't want to do with the stream. And one thing I don't like is when I see people's streams and they have like donation
He brought us
incentive,
to
like
this land of
$300 to buy a
It's
Frame
America.
Meister or whatever. It's like, it's just
But
pretty
then
much
he
just
and my
begging,
brother
you
went
know?
back to continue the
Like,
war.
for the longest time, I didn't really like
That's when it
people
happened.
donating bits, and of course, No Vultures, you're actually the first person to legitimately donate something, so
They
you're
sent
awesome
my
for
brother
doing
home
that.
a cripple.
But for me, it's just
I
like,
vowed
if you want
revenge
to
and
give
joined
somebody bits or
Foxhound.
PayPal or whatever,
I knew it was my
that's
best chance to
fine.
meet
You know,
you.
that's cool, but
And I prayed
don't
for
like
the
go
day
out of your
I
way
would.
like begging for stuff is my personal motto behind
your
it, at
prayers
least. You know, if
answered?
somebody wants to gift something or whatever,
Yes.
that's fine. You know, I
I
kind of
waited
changed my
2
stance on it. I'm pretty cool with it. Same
years
thing for subscribing.
kill me?
So I also need to
Is
think
that
of
all
some
you cared
emotes for this channel that I
Yes,
don't know what
that's
I'll
right.
do. Probably
years.
maybe something
You were
from an
all I
FMV
thought
game,
about for
like a
2
headshot
long
maybe
years.
of
Like some kind of twisted
the
obsession.
guy from Fox
You
Hunt.
still hate me?
Jack
Not
might do it,
exactly.
but yeah. So it's
I
like
was
one of the things I
probably
don't really
wrong
like
about
is like when
you.
people
What
start
about
begging for
Liquid
stuff
and the
on
others?
stream. You know, I'll joke
I'll
about
have
things
my
like that. Like I
revenge
put
on
out a
them,
tweet
too.
today,
Naomi,
like, "Hey, it's my
you
here's
killed
my
that doctor
like who's gonna
too,
buy me
didn't
something
you?
for my wish
The one
list?"
that
You
used
know,
Grey Fox
crickets.
for his genome
I
experiments.
linked it up to it just for fun, and I
Clark?
immediately tweeted
No.
right after, like, "Do not buy
That
me
was my
anything
brother.
on this. I'm just being funny or attempting
Afterward,
to
I
be,
covered
probably
it up
feeling
and helped him
horribly."
hide out.
So that ninja.
So one of the things I would
I
like
mean,
to do
Grey
with the stream,
Fox.
no, I just said
He's come
something I
here to
don't
kill
want to
me.
do with the stream,
I don't
is
think
have
so.
like viewer
just
suggestions, you know,
came
for
here to
what
fight
games
you.
to play in the future. It's not
I
a
wasn't
guarantee
sure
that I
before,
will
but
play
now
them,
I
but I'm
think
always
I
on the lookout
understand.
for like for other games
A
to
final
have,
battle
you know,
with
to
you.
definitely try out and play.
That's all he lives for.
And
sure
it doesn't
of
have to be like something brand new. It can
Fox.
even be something that's in my collection.
Naomi.
So like if you look
Tell
down
me something.
underneath the stream, if you're on computer,
About Fox Dot?
in the
Fox
About
Dot
Me
is a
section,
type
there's
of
like, what games do you
retrovirus that
own? I actually have a
targets and
link
kills
to my
only
video
specific
games
people.
VG Collect account.
First, it infects the macrophages
So you can actually
in
see
the
exactly
victim's
what games
body.
I have. Because I mean, I
Fox
have
Dot
like over
contains
800
smart
games,
enzymes
but I still get in a
created
rut of
through
like, what should I
protein
play?
engineering.
You know, on my
They're
off
programmed
days.
to respond to specific genetic patterns
So
in
I'm
the
trying to think of
cells.
like, you know,
Those
someone has
enzymes
suggestions that might be a
recognize
good
the
thing.
target's
Like when I
DNA.
did
Right.
Dragon's Lair a couple
They
days back, that
respond
was
by
actually
becoming
suggested by
active and
Nimix.
using the macrophages.
He's like, hey,
They
you know,
begin
you're doing the
creating
FMV games. I
TNF
love,
epsilon.
you know, Dragon's Lair. I'm like,
It's a
oh,
type of
that's a good
cytokine,
idea. I can make it a whole
A
stream of that.
peptide which causes cells to die.
Yeah,
The
Namio, I
TNF
get it.
epsilon is
Skipping. It's all about how Fox Die kills people. Don't care. So yes, you're supposed to kill. You're supposed to die from it too after you kill everybody else. You don't know how long you're gonna live. And they find out cut off for communications. Blah blah blah. Tears are shed. No one cares. You're gonna die from cancer. In number 4, nanomachines. And for some reason, you're gonna be attracted to Hal, or Otacon, which is really weird. I'm pretty sure Otacon's never had a relationship. Well, outside of Naomi, I should say. I can't say that exactly. Had a relationship outside of his family that didn't involve a financial transaction. Ooh, that is an awesome game. I was actually thinking about it the other day. I'm like, man, I haven't played that in a long time.
PAL code entry complete.
What?
Detonation code activated.
They tricked me. They set us up. They set me up the bomb.
No! Why?
Phantom 2040 SNES. I love that game. I haven't played that forever.
I deactivated it.
Did you? Are you sure about that, buddy?
Thank you, Snake. Now the detonation code is completed.
Do I have that physically?
Nothing can stop Metal Gear now.
It's like it's gotten to the point where I can't remember what games I have, which is why I love
You
VG
found
Collect.
the key, and even
Because it's
activated
free.
The warhead for us too.
Anybody can sign up for it. If a
I
game's
really
not
must express
on the
my
site, you can
gratitude.
add it in, the information, which is
Sorry
amazing.
to have involved you in that silly shape memory
RSC.
alloy business.
What are you talking about?
We weren't able to learn the DARPA chief's code. Even with Mantis' psychic powers, he couldn't read his mind. Then Ocelot accidentally killed
No,
him
I
during
don't
the
own that one.
interrogation.
That's one I really should
In
add to my
other
list of
words,
games to get.
we weren't
No,
able
but I
to
can play
launch
it
the
all
nuclear
emulated.
device,
It's not a
and we were all
problem.
getting a little worried. Without the
Yeah,
threat
it's
of a
like, how much
nuclear
does that go
strike,
for these days?
our demands would
eBay.
never be met.
What do you mean?
Without the detonation codes, we had to find
Phantom
some other
2040
way.
SNES.
That's when I decided you might prove useful.
Okay, so it's
Snake.
around a $10 to $15
Well, for
game on
starters,
average. So that's
I
a
had
pretty good
Decoy
price.
Octopus disguise himself
But yeah,
as the
actually, I
DARPA
added that to my
chief.
list. So that's a good
We
suggestion.
thought
Thanks
we'd
a lot
get
for
the
that, No
info from
Vultures.
you, but there was
Alright.
Fox Die.
You mean you had this plan from the beginning? Just to get me to input
And
the detonation
whenever
code?
my
You didn't think you
Retro
made it
Tink
this far
2X
by
gets shipped,
yourself,
I'm
did you?
still
Who
waiting.
the hell are you?
Definitely
In
one of
any
the games
case,
I will be
the
playing
launch
with my
preparations
original
are
Xbox
complete.
is actually
Once
modified.
the world glimpses the
Is
power of this
Metal
weapon,
Wolf Chaos.
the
They're
White House
remaking
will
it
have
for
no choice but
PC
to surrender
eventually,
the Fox
but
Die
I don't know
vaccine
when
to
that's
me.
going to be.
There, Ace in the Hole is useless now.
Ace in the hole?
The Pentagon's
Yeah, so my
plan to
modified
use
Xbox
you
is
was
awesome. I bought
already
it from
successful
Executioner, who was
in the
really awesome to me at
torture
the time. He actually cut me a deal, being very awesome and very
You're
friendly.
the
Like, he didn't
only
have to
one
do
who
that at all for
doesn't
me.
know. Poor fool.
But it's like fully modified to
Who
play
are you
burned
anyway?
DVDs. So
I'll
one
tell
of the
you
first things I did
everything you
was
want to know.
download Metal Wolf
If you come
Chaos.
to where I am, that is.
Because
Where
the
are
Japanese
you?
copy of that game is still, I think, $200+.
Very close by.
Snake, that's not Master Miller.
Metal
Campbell,
Wolf
you're too late.
Chaos.
Master Miller's body was just discovered at his home.
Xbox.
He's been dead for at least 3 days. I
Okay,
didn't
it's actually
know
dropped
because
down
the
in
codec
price.
link
Metal
with
Wolf
Master was
Chaos
cut
is
off.
selling,
But
looks like
Mayling
around
said his
125 to
transmission signal was coming
150.
From inside the base.
So who
He's
is
inside
it?
the house.
Snake, you've been talking to.
That's right, Kazuhira Miller.
Dear brother.
Oh, I mean, Liquid.
Liquid? How the...
You've served your purpose?
I think it was
You
Metal Gear
may
Awesome by
die
Eagle Raptor, who Game Grumps fame now. Who basically did the whole thing like McDonald, like Master calls you while he's inside the helicopter. He's like, "What is that? A helicopter right here?" No. So I think I need to call Otacon.
Snake, that's bulletproof glass. You can't break it with an ordinary weapon.
I know I'm kind of
Can't
dying
you
here.
open the security lock here?
I'll try. Just hold on for a minute.
Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet?
Come on, hurry up already.
Hang on.
Yeah, so Phantom 2040 is really ridiculously open world.
I hacked
I mean,
into
because like
security.
I remember
Snake,
renting it. I
I'm
never
opening the
owned
door.
it. I don't think I may have owned it at one point, but I rented it. And I just remember being like really impressed because like I played one way and then I went the other way and went completely different areas, different weapons all over the place. I was like, wow. Yeah, it gives you a lot of freedom to explore and pretty much play the game how you want to, which is pretty much unheard of back in the 16-bit days. You know, it's like games today are still mostly linear. Sandbox is a new thing, but to have a kind of open world, free roaming type game in the 16-bit era
Liquid!
that's the only game I can think of that really did it. Outside of like
Snake,
Metroid,
Did you like
Super
my
Metroid.
sunglasses? Oh, you'd point a weapon at your
Here's
own
your
brother?
shirt.
Why did you disguise yourself as Master?
So I could manipulate you more easily. You performed quite well, I must say. Although the boys at the Pentagon are probably saying the same thing.
What the hell are you talking about?
Following orders blindly with no questions asked, you've lost your warrior's pride and become nothing more than a pawn, Snake.
What?
Stopping the nuclear launch, rescuing the hostages, it was all just a diversion.
A diversion?
The Pentagon only needed you to come into contact with us.
Yes.
That's what killed the Arms
I've
Tech
heard it's
president
quite
and
cold
decoy
there.
octopus.
Even
You mean-
indoors.
That's right. You were sent here to kill us, so they could retrieve Metal Gear undamaged, along with bodies of
I
the
don't
genome
remember
soldiers.
him having a tattoo.
From the beginning,
But
the
of course,
Pentagon
you
was
know, if you
just
did, it's the
using
PlayStation,
you
you
as
would
a
be able to make it
vector
out
to
anyway.
spread Fox die.
Fox die? It can't be. Are you telling me Naomi was working with the Pentagon?
They thought she was, but it seems that Dr. Naomi Hunter couldn't be controlled so easily.
What?
We've got a spy working in the Pentagon. He reported that Dr. Hunter altered Fox Die's program just before the operation, but no one knows how or why.
I wonder. Maybe they arrested her so they could find out the answer to that.
No doubt. But I had no idea she was motivated by such petty revenge. We still don't know what changes she made to Fox Die's program.
Double,
Oh, well,
triple,
doesn't
quadruple
matter.
crossed,
I've
crisscrossed.
already added the Fox
They're gonna
Die
make you
vaccine
jump.
to my list
Jump.
of White House demands.
There's a vaccine.
There must be.
I don't
that
know, but
woman is
Ocelot
the
was a
only
triple agent.
one
He was
who
working
really
for the
knows.
Chinese, Russians, and Americans.
Anyway, it might prove to be unnecessary.
Yeah? Why's that?
Why? What?
You were successful in coming into contact with all of us, so we
Oh,
must
I
have
love this
all
version of the
been
game.
exposed to the virus.
I'm
It's
gonna get up here and
true
start
that the
tight
Arms
walking
Tech
for no
president
reason.
and decoy octopus were killed by Fox Die. But Ocelot, myself, and you, the carrier, were apparently
Yes,
unaffected.
they have amazing. Yeah. Why are you
bug in
working
the
for 3
virus's
countries at the same
programming.
time? They have an amazing
be.
dental plan.
In any case, if it doesn't
And
kill
Lisa
you,
needs
then I'm
braces.
not worried either. After all, our genetic code is identical.
So it's true. You and I are...
Yes.
Yeah, so if you like, if you're a
twins.
double or triple
But we're
agent,
not
you're
ordinary
getting paid by
twins.
both sides. You have to
We're
clear that on your
twins linked
taxes.
by cursed genes. Les enfants terribles. You're fine. You got all of the old man's
Yeah,
dominant
I
genes.
don't know why.
I got all
Nintendo
the
must have
flawed,
forked up money
recessive
for it. Of
genes.
course, it's why it's on the GameCube.
Everything was
but
done
it
so
would have
that
been interesting
you
at least
would be
to
the
put this
greatest of
version on
his
the PlayStation
children.
2. I totally agree.
The only reason I exist is so they could create
Makenko
you.
Sapo, I believe it is.
So you're saying...
Yeah,
I'm
it would have
the
been
dominant
awesome.
one.
GameCube,
That's
Xbox,
right.
PlayStation
I'm
2.
just the leftovers of what they used to make you.
be
Can
worth
you
it.
understand what it's like to know that you're garbage since the day you were born?
Unless it's like the Bayonetta 2 situation, Bayonetta 2 and
But
3 with
I'm the
Nintendo,
one
like they forked up the
Father
money for it
chose.
to get it made, so that's
So
why it's
that's why you're
exclusive
so
to that
obsessed with
system.
Big
That's the only thing I
Boss.
could think of, really.
Some warped kind of love.
Ha! Love? It's hate. His choosing me, knowingly, to be the inferior one? For this, I want revenge. You don't even understand
I don't understand
this.
why he thinks that
You, who could kill
Snake
your
is a
own
superior
real
clone,
father.
because they stated in like
You
the
stole my
pre-mission
chance
stuff
for
here at the beginning
revenge.
of the game
Now
that
I'll
you had
finish
to
the
cut
work that
and dye your
Father
hair
began.
black because you look
I
too
will
much like liquid.
surpass him.
So-
I will destroy him.
Blonde hair, blue
You're
eyes
just
is
like
recessive
Naomi.
genes.
Well, I'm not
Or if you want to
like
be
you.
the ultimate recessive gene like myself, red hair. Less than 2% of the world is naturally red hair.
Unlike you,
It's
I'm
a double
proud of the
recessive
destiny
gene, which is
that
why
is
it's
encoded
so
into
rare
my
to see in the
very
world.
genes.
Per game. Wow.
You
missed
missed
from,
your
like,
last
6 feet.
chance. You'll regret that forever.
And also, your gun has more than one shot in it, more bullet. I'm sure you can keep firing, dude. You can do it.
Snake! Come! Kneel down and
We may not have souls, but we have the ability to curse people with eternal foot fungus.
Consent!
it's a decent trade-off, I think.
A gift from your brother. Now, you shall
This with any
bear
gun, you could have,
witness
like,
to the
you know,
demon
spit his
weapon
gun and
that
hit
will
him.
drag the world into the 21st century.
We're gonna love him to death.
It's moving. But how do I stop it?
Well, I have a Stinger missile launcher. I'm pretty sure that's probably how I'm gonna end up doing it. I remember the PlayStation version, this gave me a lot of trouble. It's not bad for sneaking suits. But it looks really weird, like, we have the PlayStation 4 version of Metal Gear Solid 5. You can actually put on the retro suit. So it's like complete with like no eyes, the whole PlayStation 1 model, which is a lot of fun. What was Snake planning to do there? It's like a hamster attacking a Saint Bernard. We're pretty sure the Saint Bernard's gonna win that fight. Yeah, you have missile launchers. Why did you kick it, Snake? I mean, seriously, what are you trying to do?
I don't know. It just seemed good, like in the moment.
Don't die, Snake.
Why, that's the plan. You know, not dying thing is pretty much what I do. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Oh, it would have been funny if he answers me. He's like, hold on 1 second, brother. Put this hair back in a ponytail. Snake, what can I do for you? Oh, so the one problem I really have with this game is fast switching. To basically bring it up, you have to quickly tap the right trigger buttons when I have it set for this. It does not want to do it a lot of times. So you get problems like that where you just can't walk all of a sudden. Yep, this is like the same problem I had with PlayStation versions about. Yeah, it just like moves so freaking fast. So is it not gonna give me anything? Game. I'm gonna get creamed on this one. Yeah. Worth it. Yeah, those are explosive barrels, by the way, on the right and the left. You don't really want to do that. Well, here's the thing. I'll just call you Sapo. That's a little easier for me. I'm horribly dyslexic, so don't take offense to that. But basically, there is a game coming out from Square Enix. I think it's Left Alive. And what it is, it's basically, it looks like Metal Gear Solid in the Front Mission universe. And if you ask me, which you didn't, I'm pretty much guessing that Square Enix is trying to get the rights for Metal Gear Solid games in order to make them in the future, because the game looks like it's running on the Fox engine, and it's pretty much straight up Metal Gear Solid. They even have like the same artist from the Metal Gear series on that project, and it's actually coming out, I think, like January. It was kind of like a surprise announcement, is when I want to say it is. So it looks really cool. I probably won't be picking it up, but for me, that's just kind of like a theory, a guess that Square Enix is trying to get the rights from Konami for Metal Gear games, which would be interesting. I'd be all for it. So you're gonna give me a target or what? Yeah, I mean, he's doing Death Stranding, and I don't think that they would sell him the rights anyway. Let's see, I think it's Left Alive. Trailer, let's take a look. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so check this out. Death Stranding, I really don't know. I mean, I got burned so bad with Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, it's a completely unfinished game, pretty much like 60% done. But this game actually looks interesting. So Death Stranding, I'm waiting to see more of it. I'm waiting to actually see gameplay of it. And I'm not going to get really hyped up for it. I am interested, but I'm not like, oh my god, yeah! I'm just like, we'll see. I mean, because Kojima, I mean, with him and Metal Gear Solid 5 in the past games, he's kind of like Peter Molyneux slightly. I mean, Molyneux will basically say crazy crap like, in this game, you're a child who can't walk, but your tears fuel your avatar and try to make the world a better, peaceful place. And if you punch a child, he'll remember you in 5 years that you punched him, and none of that's anywhere in the game. And the game is just basically a recreation of Checkers. It's like, dude, what the hell were you talking about? But Kojima has all these grand plans. They show all these neat stuff in the trailers, and a lot of times none of that stuff ends up in the final game. Like, take for example, Metal Gear Solid 2. Holy crap. Everyone got that one, wool pulled over their eyes on that. They had like, for one of the trailers, it was 11 minutes long, they had Snake fighting the Harrier jet on the George Washington Bridge. Not even in the game, of course, and as we all know how that turned out, you play as Raiden for a good 95% of the game, 90% of the game. So for Death Stranding, I am definitely going to wait and see what that comes out to be. But enough of this, back to the action. Okay, game, I could use a target or two. Why are you missing? Holy crap, what is... I'm just like looking for like missiles anywhere. I am not seeing super missiles. Here comes a hit. Wow, missed, okay. Probably gonna have to die and just try this again because, like I said, it's like I had a lock on it for a couple times, just whipping on him. Yeah, so Left Alive looks really cool. Like I said, and for me, it's like I'm thinking that it's probably the auditioning for the Metal Gear license. So it looks like it's even using the Fox engine, as far as I can tell. I might as well stay alive and close.
Did that do it?
Of course not.
Damn!
Nice try, Snake!
Snake, I suddenly like you? After you, like, tried to murder me?
Hurry!
I'm pretty sure I set him on fire in Metal Gear 2. Not Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear 2.
A name from long ago. It sounds better than Deep Throat. So it is you. You look terrible, Snake. You haven't aged well.
I'll send you back to hell!
Yeah, I mean, the game looks really awesome, so I'm looking forward to it. It was completely off my radar. I didn't even know that until, like, about 3 weeks ago. Or whenever that trailer dropped. I was like, what? And he's got Mega Man's power on. Okay. Oh, okay. It's been, like, 15 years since I played Metal Gear 2.
Fox, why? What do you want from me? I'm a prisoner of death.
It would have made sense to have him in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Stay out of this. What about Naomi? She's hell-bent on taking revenge for you. Naomi? You're the only one who can stop her. No, I can't. Why? Because I'm the one who killed her parents.
So while you're having this wonderful bonding talk, Liquid's still trying to kill us.
To kill her too.
Just thought I should point that out.
Oh, I felt so bad that I decided to take her with me. I raised her like she was my own blood to soothe my guilty conscience. Even now, she thinks of me as her brother. Fox. Outwardly, we may have seemed like contented brother and sister. But every time I looked into her eyes, I trembled with fear. Tell her for me. Tell her that I was the one who did it.
There you are!
final present from Deep Throat. I'll
Oh,
stop
please,
it
not
from
on my behalf.
Fox!
I love all the background. I'm trying to remember who directed this game. Let me turn it down a little bit here. I'm trying to remember who it was. I'm drawing a blank on it, but it's like he saw The Matrix and thought, I can do better. I can go over the top. Charging my laser. Good job.
In the Middle East, we don't hunt foxes, we hunt jackals. Instead of foxhounds, we use royal harriers.
So you hunt foxes? You hunt jackals from harriers? That just seems like a colossal waste of ammunition and jet fuel.
Snake, are you just going to sit
Oh yeah,
by
Silicon
and
Knights?
watch him
Oh, you better
die?
believe it. Dennis Dyack actually, I think, tried to sue... Gosh, I can't remember exactly what he tried to sue. I shouldn't really be talking about things I can't remember fully, but... Yeah, Silicon Knights is not a thing anymore.
A cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal!
I think he tried to sue over, like, the reviews of the game he was working on. Mass something there. Let's see... Too Human, that's what it was. And remember he tried to sue Epic Games, that's what it was.
He destroyed the radome.
Impressive! You are indeed worthy of the codename Fox. But now you're finished!
Now, fire the stinger!
Fox! Can you really shoot? You'll kill him too!
I'm sure he's gonna die anyway, so yeah, I can shoot. Watch me do it. Oh yes, I love this part.
I feel good.
I can't do it, I can't do it. Can't do it.
Good. I can't do it. After Zanzibar,
So this death is on me because I have this whole opportunity, but the game's like, nope.
I don't good. I can't do it. Nor truly dead. An undying.
Oh, dang it.
Do it. I can't shoot. But soon it will finally end. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I remember it was epic. Like I said, just as you pointed out, at the exact same time, just about. Had to do something with the game engine, and coverage of Too Human wasn't good. I tried playing it, it just was not a fun game. So I remember that Silicon Knights did this, and they also did Eternal Darkness,
Or anyone else.
which is a game I didn't really like a whole lot. I mean, like I said, I rented it when it came out, and it didn't really click with me, but it might change my mind. I do have it downloaded. I should probably try it again sometime.
Believed in. Snake. Farewell.
Oh, that was great. Oh, he just rubs it around too.
Man,
Make sure he's dead.
when death is entreated, the battle is decided.
By the way, Snake, do we have like a doormat I can wipe this off on? It's rather gross.
You see, you can't protect anyone. Not even yourself.
He's not gonna kick it up with his foot? Okay. If you insist.
Snake, are you...
Alright. Second part of the fight.
Win, Snake, win!
Wow, that's the best advice I've ever had. I was totally gonna just lay down and let him mow over me, but until those words just inspired me, you are the best. Alright, so where am I geographically? Here we go. Okay, so one, it takes off your rations. Not cool. Let's see. Chaff grenade. Stanger missiles. Stupid. Okay, it's like, so the quick thing does not work well in this game. I mean, he probably could just closed it up, but...
I'll crush you into dust!
You gotta wonder where, like, anyone's ever afraid of these things in the Metal Gear Solid universe, because you've taken down, like, 2 of these things at this point. Even a Metal Gear Solid 2, like, a new Metal Gear shouldn't scare you, because it's just one man with a Stinger missile. It's able to break everything in half. Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to drag you on top of this thing for some reason, which is going to take effort. Get Meryl, put her up there too, and a bomb, and then monologue at you for hours.
I won't die, as long as you still live.
Too bad. It looks like your revolution was a failure.
What the hell's wrong with your shoulder blades?
Just because you've destroyed Metal Gear doesn't mean I'm done fighting.
Fighting? What are you really after?
The restoration of the era when warriors such as us lived as we should.
That was Big Boss's fantasy.
It was his dying wish. When
I remember trying to
young
kill
during
him,
the
and
Cold War,
Ocelot,
the
and
world
I actually
needed
killed a
men
child
like
back
us.
on Mother Base, and tried to kill another soldier. I was a screwed up youth.
We were desired.
So Metal Gear Solid 5 just
But
retconned
things
the
are
whole
different
series and
now.
screwed it all
With
up.
all the liars and hypocrites running the world, war isn't what it used to be. We're losing our place in a world that no longer needs us.
Yes.
A
Then you meet
world
Big
that
Boss
now
again in number 4.
spurns our very existence. You should know that as well as I do. After I launch this weapon and get our $1 billion, we'll be able to bring chaos and honor back to this world gone soft. Conflict shall breed conflict. New hatreds will arise, and our own biosphere shall steadily expand.
But as long as there are people, there will always be war.
But the problem is balance. Father knew what type of a balance was best.
So, like,
Is that
that's another thing.
your
Like, he
reason?
idolizes, like, Big Boss.
Isn't that
But
reason enough?
Metal Gear
for
Solid
warriors
5, like I
such
said,
as
he
us?
literally tried to kill him several
That
times.
kind of world.
Ha! You lie. So why
Like,
are
he
you
couldn't
here
stand
then?
Big Boss.
Why do you continue to follow your orders while your superiors betray you? Why did you come here? Well, I'll tell you then. You enjoy all the killing. That's why. What?
Cool, thanks for the
Are
bits.
you denying it?
And also it's going to
Haven't you
charity
already
too, so
killed
even better.
Most of my comrades.
That was...
I watched your face as you delivered the coup de grace.
It's
It
called Coup
reflected
de Grace,
such
excuse me?
vitality.
Oh, okay, that was weird.
wrong.
There is a killer inside you. You don't have to deny it. We were created to be that way.
Created.
Les enfants terribles. The terrible children. That's what the project was called. It started in the 1970s. Their plan was to artificially create the most powerful soldier possible. The person that they chose as the model was a man known then as the greatest living soldier in the world.
Big Boss.
But Father was wounded in combat and already in a coma when they brought him in. So they created us from his cells, with a combination of 20th century analog cloning and the super baby method.
Totally not what you think it was.
Baby method.
Be hilarious if it's a big giant baby
They
crawling
fertilized
around.
an egg with one of Father's cells, and then let it
So,
divide into
theoretically,
8
it is
clone
possible to
babies.
clone a human being,
Then
but it's
they
not morally
transferred the
relevant to do
clones
so.
to someone's uterus, and later intentionally aborted 6 of the fetuses to encourage strong fetal growth.
The problem
You
is with
and
clowns,
I
though,
were
and anything that we've
originally
cloned so far
octuplets.
that's a living animal,
Tuplets.
it dies early. Like,
The other
it ages
6 of our
rapidly.
brothers
Like,
were
Dolly the sheep they
sacrificed
first
to
cloned
make
developed
us.
arthritis,
We
like,
were
within a couple of
accomplices
years,
in
and you normally
murder
find an
before the
end
day
stage
we were even
of a sheep.
born.
So,
So,
that's the current
it was
problem with
you
cloning.
and I,
It works,
two
but they
fertilized
tend to
eggs
age
with
rapidly.
exactly the same DNA. But they weren't finished yet. They used me as a guinea pig to create a phenotype in which all of the dominant genes were expressed to create you. I got all the recessive genes. You took everything from me before I was even born.
You see, you'd have red hair if you had all full
But
recessive genes and everything.
you and I
You
are
also
his
wouldn't live to be
only
very
children.
long, because autoimmune disorders would be all over the
The
place.
genome soldiers.
Trust me on
They
that one.
too are his progeny, carrying on his genetic legacy. But unlike us, they carry
Yeah,
it
Liquid's whole
digitally.
thing is, wah, I'm supposedly
With the completion
inferior,
of the
even though
Human
I've
Genome Project in the last
crafted this
century,
entire
the
master plan and
mysteries
pulled
of
this all off, but
humanity
I'm
were
inferior
laid
somehow.
bare.
What?
Thanks to Father's DNA, they were able to identify
It's like
more
Einstein
than
complaining he
60
wasn't smart enough.
soldier genes responsible for everything from strategic thinking to the proverbial killer instinct. Those soldier genes were transplanted using gene therapy into the members of the next generation special forces. That's how they became the genome soldiers.
And then in a couple of games, we'll forget about that and just say nanomachines.
That's right. The genome soldiers that you've been killing right and left
Pardon me.
are our brothers with the same genes as ours.
The genome soldiers.
They are misshapen creatures, artificially produced from Father's genetic pattern. They are our blood brothers, and they were born of many an ultimate sacrifice.
Sacrifices.
Yet another thing that would be retconned by Metal Gear Solid 5 and 4.
Human experiments.
Particularly 5.
1991, the Gulf War. The military secretly injected soldiers with the soldier genes.
Oh, I'll tell you, that was a fun war to watch when you were a kid.
That hundreds of thousands of returning soldiers
Watch the news every night just to see like footage of them blowing up crap. Because it was new. I mean, cameras on missiles and the ability to hit like where we lasered stuff, it was impressive.
And radiation from depleted uranium rounds.
That was just a cover story issued by the
Okay, so I don't know if this is actually
First, they tried
how
to
it
say
was, or if this is the
post-traumatic
emulator
stress
not playing this
disorder,
file
then
correctly.
chemical
I
or
don't
biological
remember.
weapons. The poison gas detection units and
Oh, yeah.
anti-sarin injections.
It was real time.
All just
Okay,
to
so
cover up the
emulator's messing
secret
up.
genetic experiments.
So then,
Yeah, so they had like CNN had people
that have been
in
reported by Gulf
Iraq,
War veterans are-
and I think it was like Baghdad at one
Yes.
point was like getting hit with
They
cruise
too
missiles launched by
are
the United
brothers
States.
and sisters.
And they were filming for their hotel room, like
So the
looking out the
Genome
window, and they were
soldiers
filming
knew
these cruise
experiments were a
missiles go
success?
flying by to blow up targets. It was
Success?
really
Don't be
neat
a
to see.
fool.
It was like
They're
the
a
first
complete
war that was like
failure.
actively televised for the
We're on
world.
the verge of extinction.
What?
Have you ever heard of the asymmetry theory? Nature tends to favor asymmetry. Those species which have gone extinct
Nature
all
favors
show
symmetry,
signs of
not asymmetry.
The genome soldiers suffer from the same problem.
Asymmetrical
signs
is
of
what gets you
symmetry.
wiped out.
So do I, as do you. That's right. We are all on the verge of death at the genetic level. We don't
Especially
know
that
when
weirdo
or what
Otacon who
type
keeps
of
banging
disease
family
will
members.
occur. That's why we need the old man's genetic information.
You want Big Boss's DNA so you can save your family? It's very touching.
In nature, family members don't mate with each other, and yet they help
Otacon's
each
like,
other
"What?
to survive.
Who said that?"
Do you know why?
That's a lie, Snake.
Because it increases the chances that shared genes will be transmitted to future generations. Altruism among blood relatives is a response to natural selection. That we will help our blood relatives is inscribed in our very genes.
You're telling me that your genes are ordering you to save the genome soldiers?
You can't fight your genes. It's fate. All living things are born for the sole purpose of
You
passing
can't fight
on
your
their
genes,
parents'
leave I them
genes.
alone.
That's why I'll follow what my genes
Or I'll
tell
wrangle
me.
you up.
And then I'm going to go beyond in order to break the curse of my heritage. And to do that, first, I will kill you.
But wait, what about that whole talk about family?
Look behind you.
Meryl?
I'm sorry, but Meryl's model in this game looks really creepy. She looks good in
Is she
4,
alive?
but this one's kind of a little weird in my opinion.
I'm not sure. She was alive a few hours ago.
And possibly when I
Poor
dragged her
girl
up
kept
here.
calling your name.
Meryl?
Stupid woman. Falling in love with a man who doesn't even have a name?
I have a name.
No. We have no past, no future. If we did, our fate is nothing but what is determined in the genes we inherited from our father.
Let Meryl go.
As soon as we finished our business, we're almost out of time.
You're talking about Foxdie.
No. It seems now that the Pentagon knows that Metal Gear is destroyed. They've arrived at a decision. They won't even need a BDA. If you want the details, why don't you ask your precious Colonel Campbell?
Colonel, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
What is the Pentagon trying to do? Colonel, answer me.
The Secretary of Defense has taken over active control of this operation. He's on his way there by AWACS.
What for?
To bomb the place.
What?
Not only that, B-2 bombers just lifted off from Galena Air Force Base. They're carrying B-61
Here's the thing about the B-2 bomber, having grown up on a B-2 bomber base at one point and knowing pilots who flew it. It's subsonic. Maximum speed is 600 miles an hour, so it's going to take a while to get there. And it's also picked up on radar. As soon as you open the bomb bay doors in order to drop your payload, it's picked up on radar. Also, if you fly through a cloud or any heavy moisture, it gets picked up on radar too, because it sticks to the outer skin, and this starts bouncing back radar signals. So it's not really a completely total stealth bomber. It also has no weapons on it too, so before the F-35 developed, you had to have a fighter escort, which were non-stealth jets, so they would get picked up on radar regardless. It's entirely stupid, and they cost $2 billion each.
But Colonel, if you
yeah, the things you learn when you grow up in the Air Force.
The truth is, Foxhound was already the subject of an undercover investigation. Merrill was transferred to this base just before the terrorist attack as a way of manipulating me.
Those bastards.
I'm sorry. They forced me to cooperate in exchange for her life. You'd better get out of there, Snake.
Then the Arms Tech president shows up here for some reason. He's like, I'm the actual Mr. Evil Man, and then he's gone like one scene later.
For you after all the lies.
Colonel.
I'm ordering them to cancel.
Yeah, it was based off like the flying wing design that the Germans were working on.
What are you doing?
But I mean, stealth technology has been like a dream for like 40 years before that all came to fruition.
What happened?
Snake, the Colonel!
But yeah, it was pretty much based on a flying wing design. It was actually the plane was actually in, what was it, Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was but that one guy got eaten by the propeller. It was actually, that thing was their initial basis for the design. Here's the Arms president.
Ridiculous.
No, it's a Secretary of Defense. I wasn't paying attention.
He is a ridiculous man.
He's only here for one scene, and that's
he was in
it.
command of this operation.
You bastard.
There won't be a speck of evidence left. I'm sure the President would want the same thing.
The President ordered this?
The President is a busy man. I have complete authority here.
How do you plan on explaining a nuclear attack on Alaska to the media?
It was an accident.
We've prepared a convincing
Don't worry, they
story.
think it's Russia anyway.
We'll simply say that the terrorists exploded a nuclear device.
Damn it! You'll be murdering everyone here. The scientists, the Genome Army, everyone.
Donald, the DARPA chief is already dead.
So you didn't mean to kill the DARPA chief after all.
He was my friend.
And you could care less about what happens to everybody else, huh?
Exactly.
Well, if you give me the optic disc, I might consider saving them.
So that means you'd have to get out of the blast radius
Metal
first.
Gear's test data.
Which would give everybody
Donald
time
was
to
supposed
get out of
bring
the
it
blast
back.
radius.
I don't have it.
So why nuke it?
I see. Oh well, that's okay.
Instead of sending in
You
somebody
two are
like Delta
an
Team or
embarrassment
SEALs to
from the
retrieve it, I'll still nuke the
1970s.
place because I didn't think this
Our
through.
country's dirty little secret. You can't be allowed to live. You're just the lingering ghosts of a system that is no more. Well, do try to get along in the time you have left before the bomb.
Oh, there's no way out for us. Let's finish this before the airstrike. You stole everything from me. I shall nullify you and your genes, and I will take them all back. She'll make a beautiful sacrifice for our final battle. Do you see this?
Don't ask where I pulled it up from.
Time limit for our final battle. When death comes for this girl, this nuclear module shall vanish from this world as well. If you win, you might still be able to save her. You could enjoy one brief moment of love before the end.
Matrix!
And if you cross this line, you'll fall. At this height, it'll kill even you.
Really? So I heard like there was a, what was it, Censored Gaming actually did a full video showing all the differences between the versions, which was a really cool video to watch.
At you, Snake!
Master, what should I do? Oh. Oh. Okay. Deep Throat. Ah, God, he's not answering too. Also, what really kind of bugs me about this version of the game too is like Mei Ling doesn't have an accent, neither does Natasha. She doesn't have a Russian accent anymore. Just listen. Oh, she's not going to answer right now. Okay, so everyone's too busy to talk to me. I see. Just like, shut up and beat him up before the nuclear bomb hits, Snake.
Don't.
And punching! Oh! I wore my dog tags to show my pride. Oh, one of them I got from Vulcan Raven because he gave it to me out of pity.
What's wrong, Snake? Nice going, Snake.
Haha! So what do... I don't remember, like, what dog tags do in this game. And where they're like, Metal Gear Solid 2 was like part of a contest to have your name put in. And getting would do something like a special rank, or maybe unlock something, I can't remember, but I don't know what it does in this version of the game. So I felt like the need to include it since they're copying the rest of the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine. And mechanics. Ah, okay. Unlocking unlimited ammo. Alright, that makes sense. Well, I know the bandana and stealth camos are released in the original game, because like I said, it's been about 15 years since I last played through this. I know the PlayStation version, like, if you save Otacon and let Meryl die in the game, you get the stealth camo, and then if you survive the torture, like, you don't give up, and you have the ending with Meryl, which is what I'm doing, because I hate Otacon. I don't want my ending to be with that loser. You get the bandana instead. Unfortunately, he hits harder than you, and you don't have a block. At least not that I'm aware of. I can crouch. I can punch.
What's wrong, Snake?
Oh, I was trying to see if he'd get stuck in an animation.
Is that all you...
Is that all you... Maybe. I mean, it depends on how much fiber I've had, but... Yeah, it was easy. I mean, the fight was not too hard on PlayStation. Oops. Dodge the wrong direction. Okay, so at least I have some kind of invincibility frames if I get back up from that. Yeah, it was not hard to punch Liquid in the PlayStation version. Yeah, this is annoying because he hits a lot harder. So this fight actually was made harder. There's 2 fights in this game was made more challenging for this version, as I had noticed because I played this game about 3 months ago on PlayStation. The Vulcan Raven fight was made a lot harder because basically with the PlayStation version you could figure out his pattern pretty quickly and you could plant claymores and they did a lot of damage. You just go walking into them. And of course, if you got past those, then what you could do is just pull out your Stinger missile and just blast them in the face. You could actually, if you had enough rations, just stand in one place and just smash them in the face repeatedly with Stinger missiles, and you'd win. It wasn't much of a fight. This version of the game, your weapons do a lot less damage on Vulcan Raven, and if you try to pull out your Stinger missiles, they go around him like Fortune and Metal Gear Solid 2. They just go flinging off in different versions, like different areas you can't hit him with it. So I actually beat him with C4, Claymore mines, and the last hit was with a grenade I got lucky on. So in this one, like I said, he doesn't get, Snake or Liquid doesn't get stuck in the punch loops, and he also hits a lot harder. So it's kind of interesting. So it's like the 2 fights that they really kind of change around to make it a little bit more difficult. I wonder if you could throw him. And I answered that question. I may have found a really weak loop. Hi there. I'm not sure how that throw worked, but yeah, and the game just will suddenly dodge things too, so this fight is a lot trickier than it needs to be. Hold on, I got an itchy ear. Oh god, that's like the worst time to have it. It's like, oh, gotta take off my headphones real fast. Okay, here we go. It's like all of a sudden your ear's itching and like you can't stop because like the pause button is you have to hit start and A. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so the whole judo throwing method is slower, and I'm probably not going to make the limit again, so... Really? Traded hits on that. Okay, so if you keep throwing them, you're not going to make the time limit. And it does barely anything anyway, so you're pretty much forced to fight it out and hope you win. So 2 punch combos on him did that much. 1 hit did 2. So basically, he hits literally like the same amount of damage I do with 2 full strings, if I get lucky.
Is that all you've got?
So let's try a different strategy. Basically, throw him, and then do a punch combo after that, because he's going to get up and run around. So that might stop him from doing his ducking under animation where you can't hit him. Nope, that's... bad. That was awesome. This fight is annoying as hell. They do like so little damage, it's crazy. It is. I mean, it was easier in the PlayStation version, but like literally he's doing double the damage from what I do. Like I have to land I have to land 6 hits, what he takes off in 1 hit for me. This is basically going to come down to the game deciding to let me win or not. Like right there, it just decided nope. Because you don't have a dodge, you don't have a block. You got nothing at this point.
Is that all you've got?
Okay, looks like I've gotten in the loop now. Oh, except for deciding to break free. Okay, there we go. It decided to be generous. Also, what's up, Ronnie? Game's not over yet, but at least the fight's done, thank goodness. So still gotta have my ride out of here with Gerald. She's like a knockoff Meryl. Gotta ride out of here with Meryl while I get chased by Liquid. I keep shooting him in the face with a 50 cal and he doesn't explode in the guts. It's nice to know that they have the ability to do all this stuff after giving each other several concussions. Ramen, instant noodles, good stuff. I haven't had that in a long time. Oh, so they're suddenly Dragon Ball Z characters, okay. Now, it would have been cool if all this happened in the fight I just did. Ooh, lobster rolls. That's another thing I haven't had in a long time either, since I lived in New Hampshire. The McDonald's used to have them, actually. It was kind of an interesting thing. Like, you're like, talk to the locals up there when I moved up there. They're like, what do you mean McDonald's doesn't have lobster rolls in the rest of the country? I'm like, they don't. Trust me. This is a regional thing. But yeah, that's what I loved about living in New Hampshire was like, you know, my girlfriend and I at the time were like living together. I'm like, well, what do you want for dinner tonight? She's like, oh, how about some seafood? I was like, okay, let's get in the car. We'd go drive 45 minutes to the east, hit Maine, and get fresh stuff right out of the sea. And like lobster was like $8 for a full big giant lobster. It was great. Yeah, what did I have tonight? I had pizza for dinner. My dad ordered out for dinner.
Is that you?
So I was not impressed.
Snake, you're alive. Thank God.
Well, yeah, you will definitely be doing a lot of cooking, especially as a chef in training.
Are you okay? Is that all you can say?
You have weird eyes?
Meryl, you must have been terrible.
In bed, I mean. Okay, I'm sticking with that.
It wasn't that bad.
I thought about it at one point, and then I decided not to do it, and then I got sick as hell, and fibro kicked up.
Even worse
and
than
then, about 4 years ago, actually, I tried out for MasterChef.
I was fighting too.
That was an experience and a half.
Just like you.
You're a strong
I mean,
woman.
the thing is, though, it's like, it's good to know how to cook. I mean, definitely, you know, especially good food, because it's, you know, it's something you should be doing your entire life. But, like, having a job as a chef is very, very demanding. You know, sometimes the pay isn't that great, and you're usually working very long days. But, I mean, if it's something you enjoy doing, then it's all worth it.
Don't say that.
I mean, if your heart's not in it, then it's just going to burn you up real quick.
During all the pain.
But if it's your passion, by all means, go for it.
One thing I was sure of. A single hope that I held on to. And that hope kept me alive. Snake, I wanted to see you again.
Snake, let's do it on top of Liquid's body. It'll be hilarious. Do not kiss. You did not kiss in the PlayStation version. I'm sorry, this just never happens, I swear.
That's my Kodak.
Who's cock-blocking me?
Snake, it's
Oh,
me.
yeah, no
It
surprise.
looks like you stopped Rex.
Otacon, good news. Meryl's okay.
All
Otacon,
right.
Snake,
You saved
Otacon,
her, man.
Snake.
Good job.
Otacon.
I got some bad news, too.
Okay.
We're about to be bombed.
Oh boy. I guess we're considered expendable.
Is there a way out of here?
A way out?
Yeah, just outrun a
Yeah.
thermonuclear missile.
You can
That's
take the loading
that's
tunnel
easy
to
to
the
do.
surface. There's a parking garage right next to you. The tunnel leads from there to the surface.
The door in front?
No, it's a small.
So the question is,
entrance to the
Sapo,
west of
because
that
I mean,
door.
a lot
How
of
about
chefs
security?
or in home cooks
I
like
just
myself
unlocked it. Who do you think
usually
you're talking
specialize
to?
in one or two things, like
I'll
either
take
you're a
care of
really good
security
cook
along your
or you're a
escape
really
route,
good
too.
baker.
What are you
It's
gonna
very
do?
rare to be able to do
Me?
both. For me, I am terrible
I'll
at
stay
baking.
here.
So,
you
like, what's your
crazy?
specialty?
I
Like,
need
is
a
it
little
just
more
like
time to
general
take care of
cooking,
your escape
or
route.
But
because when I was
Unlocking
in,
the security doors is
because I learned how to do
difficult
like
work.
Chinese and
Only
Asian
I can
cooking.
do
That's
it.
pretty much what my
Otacon.
specialty is.
Don't worry.
Some
I'm
people have
staying
specialty
here.
cooking. Some people just
It's
like
my own
jack of all
decision.
trades.
Otacon, this is a hardened shelter, but they're going to use a surface-piercing.
Yeah, I'm
nuclear
sure that she's
bomb.
not going to allow that to
It won't
happen, and
hold.
Otacon wouldn't like it
I'm
anyway
through
because,
regretting the
well, it'd be
past.
really weird if he keeps
Life
screaming
isn't
out
all
Emma
about
over and
loss,
over.
You know?
My name's Meryl. Emma.
Snake,
Emma.
I'm a
Oh,
complete
Beef Wellington's a
person now.
problem for anybody.
I've found a reason
Unless
to
your name
live.
is Gordon Ramsay, Beef
Don't
Wellington is a
die on me.
challenge.
Same to you. Take care of Meryl, okay?
But yeah, it's hard.
Okay, I gotta go. I promise I'll do something.
Even
about
when
your
you've been
escape
making them for a
route.
long time, it
Thanks.
still can go
Thanks.
sideways on you real quick.
Oh, that sounds nice.
I believe in you.
Thanks, Snake.
I can't believe you bought it. He said I believe in him. They just start laughing
Let's get the hell
hysterically.
out of here.
What about him? Where is Otacon?
He's fighting right now.
He's trying to drag
his old
away
self,
like Sniper Wolf's
to be the man
body.
he wants to be.
You'll be my new lover.
He's fighting for us
Yeah,
too.
baking is really hard.
Yeah,
Like I said, people
and I
tend to
don't want it to be
gravitate
in
towards
vain.
one or the other.
Me
'Cause I know
too.
some amazing people who can bake amazing things and can't cook to save their life. And then, like me, I can cook pretty well, and then I can't bake for crap. Yeah, brownies I'm not that good at. Cookies I've nailed solid, but brownies I'm not that great at. Even when I'm trying to do the stuff in a box, I still screw it up. Oh, my spine! My gunshot wounds! That hurt!
Snake.
God, you have weird eyes.
Meryl.
I'm not sure what you see in me. I have, like, no
started.
personality and, like, borderline antisocial.
I must be heavy.
Looks like we're not going to have a love scene after all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Looks that way. Too bad.
Let's get out of here.
Snake, it's freezing outside. You need some clothes.
What about you, Miss Tube Top? I'll just stand around like a doofus. Oh, I don't know. Turn in circles. No, that didn't solve the problem. Crap. Oh, there we go.
There's my sneaking suit.
Hurry up! Hurry!
So much dramatic movement for what reason?
Looking good, Snake.
Where did you get that? Like, I saw some guy named Marty McFly. I don't know. He came driving in a car like a maniac. Just hit him over the head and took it. He'll be okay.
Hurry!
Snake, they've placed the Colonel under arrest.
Ah, Gyudon's always good.
Snake.
Let me drive. Damn, a surveillance camera.
So I have, like, no weapons right now.
Oh no, no key. Alright, keys.
Meryl, anytime now, please.
Snake, it started. Get in.
Thank you.
Fire that machine gun with the weapon button. Shoot him, Snake.
God, this is annoying. Get For me, it's definitely Chinese and Japanese food is where I have it. I don't have a lot of experience cooking Korean. Like, mostly a jack of all trades for everything else, but like Chinese is my specialty. I learned how to cook Szechuan years ago. I don't know why we're caring. Dude, come on. Yeah, it's really annoying in this version. You get hit, you just go flying way up. That would be interesting.
Not yet, Snake! It's not over yet! Liquid!
How do I know what his secret is? I mean, he's taking like 50 cows in the face like nobody's business. If you've ever seen the end of Rambo, the 2008 version, you know what a 50 cal, that's like the most realistic depiction of a 50 cal, what it does to the human body. By the way, the special edition, or the director's cut of that, is so much better, Rambo 2008. It actually has some scenes trimmed, but there was like a lot of alternate scenes that Stallone shot for the movie. And like, the theatrical version, like, Rambo's like a total asshole. But then in like the director's cut, he actually used the other cuts he had of like the other takes, and Rambo's like more humanistic and more of a nice person. It makes for a lot better film.
Look, Snake, daylight! We're gonna crash!
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, it's probably an M60, but either way, that's still going to do a lot of damage. Oh, here we go. More Matrix spinning. Oh, I love this version. Headbutts can be effective, but don't plan to headbutt. Yeah, headbutting in a fight is just like biting somebody, exactly like what Bruce Lee said, is if you're in a fight and you have to bite somebody, do it, but don't plan to do it, because that's a good way to lose your teeth. Same thing for trying to headbutt somebody. If you try to go in like, I'm gonna headbutt this guy, you're probably gonna get knocked out.
Meryl, are you okay? Snake. Snake!
Where will you be when diarrhea strikes?
Fox?
Die.
Die.
You could just grab his leg. It's right there.
He's dead.
Yeah, like I said, don't headbutt unless you have to, and also know what you're doing.
Don't say it, Snake.
But don't, like I said, don't plan to do it. So I've heard of people like, I'm gonna like go into this fight and headbutt the guy. No, that's dumb.
No stealth bombers in sight.
Even if you do it right, it's still not a wise move to do.
Snake, can you hear me?
Colonel.
Are you okay?
Colonel, what happened?
The Secretary of Defense has been arrested. Early retirement.
By who? Don't ask. I don't know.
I was able to get into contact with the President. Metal Gear, the training exercise, all of it. It was all the Secretary of Defense acting alone.
Acting alone?
Are you just going to keep repeating everything I tell you, Snake? I mean,
the orders were rescinded.
Do you have hearing problem?
The F-117s and the B-2 bombers have returned to the base. Once again, I have complete authority over this operation.
I see.
Washington isn't stupid enough to use nukes to cover up a few
Not
secrets.
since Mario and versus Luigi has there been such a great brother versus rivalry.
The danger's over. Thanks, Snake.
Colonel, you can rest easy. Meryl's fine.
Really? Thanks. Thank you, Snake.
Oh, and for reasons that are completely unknown, like in number 4, she's gonna hate your guts because you marry a girl. You marry Rosemary. It's really dumb.
Oh, that's right.
I've got a present for you. There's a snowmobile close to you. Mei Ling saw it on the satellite photos.
It was taken hours ago. I don't know if it's still there, but...
You should be able to ride right out of there. I'll bet the boys at the DIA and the NSA never expected you to come home alive.
Me neither. I better not show my face around there.
No danger of that. You two officially died after your Jeep sank into the ocean.
That's not too far from the truth.
There's also a helicopter waiting for you at the Fox Islands.
Dr. Hal Emmerich should be somewhere on the base. I want someone to bring him in.
I understand. Leave it to me.
Okay.
You're getting a BB gun for Christmas. Just don't shoot your eye out.
Are you going to be okay?
Don't worry. I've got an insurance policy.
Speaking of Christmas gifts, I still don't have my retro tank.
Mei Ling's data. As long as I've got that, you, me, and Mei Ling will be fine.
Check my email. I don't think it's updated yet.
Will run out soon. They won't be able to follow us.
I guess we won't meet again.
Don't worry. I'll pay you a visit sometime.
Really?
Nope, still no RetroArch.
Roy.
Not RetroArch,
just
Retro Tank.
Thing.
What?
About Fox Die.
Meryl will be fine. She wasn't included in its programming.
What about me? It killed Liquid.
Naomi said she wants to talk to you face to face about that.
How is she?
Don't worry. Mei Ling's with her right now.
Just ignore the fact that she's still trying to actively murder you with Fox Die, and everyone's like, that's fine, it's all cool.
I heard about my brother.
Fox, no, Frank wanted to tell you something. He told me to tell you to forget about him and to go on with your own life.
Frankie said that?
Yeah.
Actually, he said he hated your guts and you were a horrible mistake, but I decided to tell you the nice version. Yeah, the Retro Tank. Retro Tank 2X. It's a line doubler.
He fought on
and basically allowed me to hook up, play like most of my retro games on stream a lot easier, so I can hook up, play the Saturn, Sega Genesis using my HD Retrovision cables, Super Nintendo, original Xbox. So I have like a crappy like component update or like upscaler right now. It just looks like garbage. But the Retro Tank actually makes things look pretty decent. So I ordered it. It's on back order. They were supposed to ship back on the 7th of this month. But it's just one guy making these things. So he's like, well, it's going to be now towards the later part of the month. So I'm still waiting to get the email saying that it's been shipped out.
What do you mean?
And then, of course, then there's also Double Switch for PlayStation 4, which I bought the physical copy from Limited Run Games, and people are like, well, you should have known they're not going to ship their stuff on time. There was no indication they're going to do that. They originally said that it was supposed to ship again on the 7th, to be there by the 11th, when the game got released on digital. Didn't happen. It's still looking around February for that to come out. So, nothing I ordered for myself for Christmas is coming in time.
I finally realized that. I told you before, the reason that I was interested in genes and DNA. Because I wanted to know
if you buy something from Limited Run Games, just keep in mind it might be 3 to 4 months before you actually get it. Unless they have it in stock.
I could find out who I was, who my parents were. And I thought that if I knew that, then I'd know what path I should take in life. But I was wrong. I didn't find anything. I didn't learn anything. Just like with the Genome Soldiers, you can input all the genetic information, but that doesn't make them into the strongest soldiers. The most we can say about DNA is that its genetic information houses a person's strengths or destiny. You mustn't allow yourself to be chained to fate, to be ruled by your genes. Humans can choose the type of life they want to live. Snake, whether you've been programmed or not isn't important. The important thing is that you choose life.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but oh well.
And then,
if I was a kid, it'd be devastating, but you know, I'm the 37-year-old man living in my parents' basement, so I can deal with it. I guess somebody will have to buy me games on my Steam wish list that I posted up to social media. Everybody should do that. Don't. I'm just kidding. Do not do that. I posted it there for fun. I was like, hey, it's like somebody should buy me something on my wish list. And then I immediately posted like, please do not. I am making a bad joke.
Living is a link to what will come. All life is tethered to the future.
Actually, I did buy something today on eBay. A Chinese seller, so this is going to be fun, questionable quality. A Xbox 360 wireless adapter, so that way I can use my better controller, my wireless controller on the PC, because the wired controller I'm using right now is just about dead. It's falling apart from use.
Look, I found this.
Let's keep it as a reminder.
So you're just keeping random dirty rags, okay.
A reminder of a successful mission? Or a reminder of the first time we met?
A reminder of how to live.
By the way, what the hell was with you firing a gun in a circle? I mean, that was just
Until
stupid.
today, I've lived only for myself. My survival instinct that tells me not to die. That's all the motive I've had in my life.
That's not just you. That's how everyone is.
I only felt truly alive when I was staring death in the face. I don't know. Maybe it's written into my genes.
Well, it could be anywhere between 1 to 4 weeks. As a person who constantly orders things from Japan, or rather I used to when I was employed.
Maybe it's time I live for someone else.
Before I
Someone else?
got laid off / fired from my job and went to college for 2 years to become an IT, and then now I need a back fusion, so I can't work. I've had to turn down 4 jobs, so yeah, go me. So eventually, when I get my back fused and get a job, I will be buying crap from Japan again.
David. My name is David.
It's a stupid name, I know. So I go by Snake.
Okay, so where to, Dave?
Doesn't matter, because your arms are going to get really frostbitten as we go riding off into the middle of the winter in Alaska at night.
A new path?
It's like 20 below.
Will we find it?
We'll find it. I know we'll find it.
Hey, what are those?
Caribou. To the Aleutians, the caribou is a symbol of life. It'll be spring here soon.
For us, too.
And they rode off into the sun.
Spring brings new
something.
life to everything.
They rode off into the distance and then broke up shortly after.
It's a time for hope.
She then married another one of your
Lived here a long
clones.
time, but Alaska has
All because
never
he
looked more
saved her
beautiful.
life one time, and that caused her to fall madly and,
Sky,
head over heels in love with him. So
the sea,
Meryl makes bad decisions.
caribou, and most of all, you.
Now, Snake and Eva actually had chemistry.
It's nice,
They really
isn't it?
did. But
Being
like,
alive.
but like Snake and Meryl here, it's just like they got nothing.
Let's enjoy life.
Then they broke up a couple months later. Ah, yes, good old Kojima with his anti-nuclear war and weapons stances. Pretty much all the games have gone around, really. Oh yeah, if you were not around, if you were not old enough to be alive during the Cold War, we had, I think at one point, the United States arsenal, we had like over 13,000 nuclear missiles. I think we're currently down to around 4,000 or 5,000, which is still enough to kill everybody on the planet a couple times over. Yes, that's called Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. But here's the thing, it's like the same thing for like people like, oh, nuclear waste. Just put it in a rocket and shoot it off into space or into the sun. Yeah, what happens if that rocket fails? So you've just spread nuclear contamination over probably a good size of a continent? Same thing for nuclear missiles. You launch them off there, there's no guarantee that they're going to make escape orbit velocity, which then they can rain back down on the planet, and you have more problems. Because it still takes a lot to get out into space, and farther enough away from gravitational pull. It's like a lot of our like nuclear missiles, what they're doing is going up like barely into space, or right close to it, so they can basically make a faster travel and hit anywhere in the world in about 30 minutes or so. So current missile technology doesn't have enough to actually leave orbit. And then of course you still have the problem with like the nuclear genie, is that you've unleashed it. People understand the theory of it, how to make one, so if you get rid of all the nuclear missiles, you can still make one. Yeah, Metal Gear North Korea is just basically trying to like find food to survive. Interesting, I guess they didn't have the master files from this, because this is like PlayStation quality video right now. Figured like maybe they would just get generic like National Geographic footage, which is probably what this is, just to put it in higher quality. Yeah, so I remember these credits being long, but Metal Gear Solid 4 was by far the longest one we had to sit through, because I've been playing Metal Gear Solid, I played 1 through 5 in a row, and like 4, the end credits for that, like the sequence here just, and stuff like this is about 15 minutes long. The entire ending from start to finish was 90 minutes just about, I want to say, if I remember correctly. So I had posted about it on Twitter. I was just like, holy crap, so I set a timer and let it go, and it was about, yeah, the ending of the game from start to finish was about an hour 20, hour 30 minutes just about for Metal Gear Solid 4. I mean, that was just like, good God, Kojima, just make a movie. It's like, Metal Gear Solid 4, for a lot of it, was, you didn't do a whole lot of gameplay. Especially like the first mission, it was like, yeah, so you think you're done with the ending, and it just keeps going. It's like, oh my God, end. You want to be like Tom Servo from like that Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode where he's just yelling end. Yeah, so like Metal Gear Solid 4 ending, you just basically want to be like this part with Tom Servo. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4's ending was not bad. 3 was really impactful. I liked that one a lot. That end song just ties into it perfectly. Yeah, that's what I heard. It's like the last movie, because like it just had like 12 endings. It's just like, oh my God, what are you doing? I didn't like the Lord of the Rings movies. I've never read the book. My brother read the book. He loved it. I saw the movies in theaters. I hated it with a passion. Then I saw the uncut versions. Those are so much better.
To be ruled by your genes. Humans can choose the type of life they want to live. Snake, whether you've been programmed or not isn't important. The important thing is that you choose life. And then live.
Yes, sir. The entire unit was wiped out. Yes. Yes, sir. Thanks to the vaccine. Yes, those two are still alive. The Vector? Yes, sir. Fox Die should become activated soon. Right on schedule. Yes, sir. I recovered all of Rex's dummy warhead data. No, there are no other records. They've all been deleted from the base's computer. No, sir. My cover is intact. Nobody knows who I really am.
Not even myself.
Yes, the DARPA chief knew my identity, but he's been disposed of. Yes. Yes. Liquid is dead. The inferior one was the winner after all.
Shock.
That's right. Until the very end, Liquid thought he was the inferior one. Of course, the other one thinks so too. Yes, sir. I agree completely. It takes a well-balanced individual such as yourself to rule the world. Yes. Yes, sir. No, sir. No one knows that you were the third one, Solidus. What should I do about the woman? Yes, sir. I understand. The surveillance will continue. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Goodbye, Mr. President.
Oh no. Shock. Ooh, hyena. Clear code. Does it still work? Let's find out. I have like a band-aid on one of my fingers, so it's a little bit tricky to type. Because I sharpened up all my chef's knives last week, a couple days ago. And yeah, so the phrase, you know, cut through a knife like hot butter also applies to your fingers and skin. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky here. So let's see. Does this site still pull up? No, it does not. HTTP error 400. Yeah, so it's a bad request, so boo. That would've been awesome. Alright, so let's see. Oh yeah, it's like, basically it's like kind of like on the heel of the knife, so it's just like barely just touched it, just went like sliced right into it. And usually like you get cut, like it takes your body a second or so, like a couple seconds to reroute everything, and then you start bleeding. This was like instant, just boosh. I was like, wow, I'm impressed. So it's like, it's not a deep cut or so, it just went a little deeper than usual, but it's nothing that needs stitches or anything like that. So, but yeah, it's like if you have a really good knife, you can really do some damage. Hyena, alright. I got the camera and the bandana. A bandana camera. Sure, let's save, why not? Probably will not be playing this again anyway, but that's fine. I have it on emulator, so I can do whatever I want. And there we go. Game is over. So that means... we have reached the end of the stream for today. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I do appreciate it. Sapo, thanks for dropping by here. Definitely appreciate it. Ronnie. And also, gosh, drawing a blank. No Vultures. Drew a blank on that for a second. Yeah, also dropped by as well. So I do appreciate it. So I will be back again streaming tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you do not know when that is, just type it into Google and it will tell you for wherever it is you are in the world. You can also take a look at my Twitter at Wurzel555. You don't have to bookmark or follow me there. But I do post up when I'm going to be streaming, usually about an hour or two in advance, just to let you know. And since, like I mentioned, I do need a back fusion, I'm in a lot of pain. Certain days I just can't do it, so if I need to cancel a stream, I'll post on there as well. So we've completed Metal Gear Solid 1 through 5. It's been a 3-month process, and also Twin Snakes just for fun, because I love the crazy cutscenes. The next game series I'm going to be picking up is just 2 games. It's Yakuza 0 and Kiwami, which is like the first game redone on PlayStation 4. So I will not be starting that tomorrow. Tomorrow, actually, I'm going to be playing a different game. I'll be doing some fighting games. I'll be doing Street Fighter EX plus A, Street Fighter EX 2 and 3. I'll be playing those on stream and just having some fun. So let's see, today, right now, this is Saturday, so Monday I'll be starting up Yakuza 0, and I'll give that a go, because I've never played it before. It's been highly recommended to me by a lot of people. I will be playing the PC version, so it's going to be fun to jump into that game. So tomorrow, Street Fighter EX Series 1 through 3, and then Monday we'll be jumping into Yakuza 0. So I am looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys will come back and we'll see you then. So thanks for hanging out, and hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.